Welcome to the Micheaux Mission, 2 Men, 1 podcast, every black film ever made. My name is Vincent Williams, and I'm joined as always by my partner.
Hey, what's up? Holla at your boy. This is Len, aka the Bat Tribble.
And on this stop of the mission, on the last day of November 2022, we circle back and revisit a universe filled with characters that are black pop culture icons, with the year 2000 sequel to Friday, appropriately named Next Friday. Ice Cube, John Witherspoon, introducing Mike Epps to the fun, and a cavalcade of stars and performers. The choice of Lynn Webb. But before we get to Next Friday and the sensational character find of 1940, Pinky, how are you, Lynn?
I'm doing very well, Vincent. How are you?
I am also well. Good to hear. Good to hear. What's going on in Micheaux land?
Well, I don't know. Let's talk about it. With all of our missionaries that are out there in the chat as we are streaming via StreamYard to YouTube as well as to Facebook. Hello to each and every one of you. It has been so long since we've gotten together. Seems like it was a holiday ago.
It seems like it was a holiday.
How was your Thanksgiving, Vincent?
It was excellent.
Was it excellent? Were there any burgers?
There were not. And it's yours?
There were no burgers at the Thanksgiving dinner.
Okay. Well done.
However, I was feeling a little frisky. So I didn't have burgers for breakfast.
Okay.
But I did have ground beef for breakfast.
Okay.
With scrambled eggs.
Okay. All right.
So it was
burger in spirit, a deconstructed burger.
A deconstructed breakfast burger.
Yeah, there you go.
That's what I had. But my Thanksgiving was very good. I had spent time with family. And then the weekend was even more lovely because I spent most of the weekend just nuzzling around on the couch with my lady.
Very nice. Very nice. That is something to give thanks for.
It is. Do you postpone charcuterie Fridays for the Thanksgiving holiday?
Yeah, it's actually in as we were talking about before we began taping. My schedule has been insane for the past 2-3 months. So we actually haven't had it in a minute because we just haven't been sitting still.
Okay, well, that's true. Yeah.
So,
all right, I dig it.
So,
all right. Well, we're
locked and loaded. As soon as a Friday comes and we're ready.
I'm sure you are.
Oh yeah,
I'm sure. So
I know you are.
So I'm just one last charcuterie
so much
question.
Interest in what is really such a mundane matter, but
it's not mundane to me.
Okay.
My interest just lies in the variety of meats that you have.
Yes.
On your charcuterie board.
Right.
Because I'm aware of there's like 80,000 different cheeses you can have, right?
Yes.
But I understand, from what I understand of charcuterie,
yes, that
the traditional meats are usually like a salami,
right,
or perhaps a pepperoni,
right. Like
what
you have your dried meats. Some people like faux gras and chicken livers and that type of thing.
You don't do chicken livers?
No, we don't.
Okay.
We don't, and then neither one of us eats pork. And then Wendy doesn't eat beef. So really it's just carved chicken.
Carved chicken. So carved chicken and then your variety of cheeses.
And then there's like some figs. And I like a little
figs, like fig Newtons.
Well, like that's what goes in fig Newtons, but yeah, the actual figs.
I've never what is a fig? Is it a fruit?
It's a fruit.
Is it is it a berry?
It's in the grape family, I think. I believe it is originally Middle Eastern.
Wow, I did not know.
But that is what goes in the fig Newton.
Okay.
Oh, and my wife reminded me, actually dates. It's not figs, it's dates.
You have dates.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's dates.
I don't eat them.
That's for her.
That's for her.
That's for her. You're the cheese and
I like the little heritage tomatoes sometimes, like little tomatoes.
okay.
Yeah, those are nice just because you get a different color, and then you got the savory to go with some sweet.
Do you have Keebler crackers?
I get different types of crackers,
The names that we've
little
never heard
toasts.
of.
I mean, people have heard like a Melba toast or just crackers.
A Melba toast?
Yeah, like the little pumpernickel.
Okay.
Pumpernickel.
All right. I want to see one of your charcuterie boards.
Right.
I'm interested in this. Anyway, all right.
Somebody told me we're gonna keep things moving, and at least we didn't spend 20 minutes talking about your hamburger bar.
No, we did not.
Mm-hmm.
But thank you to all of you who are helping us make our way to 200 reviews on Apple Podcasts.
Yes.
Just like John 50 OK, who gave us a review, insightful and fun. Two friends reviewing every Black film ever made. They have interesting insights and observations on each film. It often takes them time to get to the movie review.
It's a stroll.
But their off-topic conversations are a lot of fun.
I mixed up figs and dates just now. So we've got that going on.
That's part of the fun.
That's part of the fun.
That's part of the fun that John enjoys as he listens to the Micheaux Mission.
Thank you, John.
Thank you, John. All right. Oh, and we have among all of our cast of regular missionaries.
Yes.
We have a Robin Browning.
Hey, Robin.
Who it is her first time making it to the live. Good evening. Hello,
hey, Robin.
Welcome, Robin.
Welcome. Oh, that's funny. That is so funny because I just made a Robin joke.
You sure did.
I made a Robin for those of you who don't know, which is everyone. Sometimes I make jokes just for me and Lynn.
Yes, he does.
When I said Pinky was a sensational character find of 1940, that is actually from the introduction of Robin,
the boy wonder
of Batman and from the cover. So I was making a joke. That was actually a Robin joke.
There you go.
That no one got but you.
Who knows? Perhaps Robin Browning got it.
Perhaps Robin Browning got it.
Because she's probably heard every
iteration of the round. Like someone has told her she's a sensational character find. Or he.
It is a she.
Okay, that she's the sensational character find of 1940.
And somebody has probably asked her to wear a yellow cape.
All right.
And green booties.
And green. We want her to come back.
Thank you. Thank you for joining us.
Welcome.
Aaron Fry says, Vincent, no chicken livers, no gizzards and gravy. You don't have gravy on our charcuterie board.
Okay,
now that much
I do like grits and gravy.
I love grits and gravy.
Which traditionally is made with gizzards or liver, like the gravy.
Is that what it's made from?
Yeah.
See, my grits and gravy is it comes from my grandmother, my mother's mother. And I guess maybe it was made from
you never saw her make the gravy?
I never saw her make it.
You never saw it happen?
I just saw it on the grits, and it
I'm
tasted
going to assume
delicious.
Your grandmother was an old Black woman?
Yes.
I 100% guarantee that's where the gravy came from.
No, I'm pretty sure because it definitely had like a chicken flavor to it.
Oh yeah.
You know, but
gravy. Yeah.
But I feel like if I had known that it was from chicken liver, that would have like colored my feeling, and I wouldn't have enjoyed it.
Sure, and I don't think you would necessarily eat it.
The gravy,
the liver or the gizzard, but
yeah. All right, so no, and you wouldn't put that. Like I said, you wouldn't put that on a charcuterie.
Yeah, but let's be clear, I'm a fan of grits and gravy.
Oh man,
yeah.
Look. Let me tell you, we went to this restaurant in Elkins Park.
Okay,
Food Chasers.
Oh, okay.
Have you heard of it?
I have not.
It's a small little like brunch joint that's opened up by these two retired school principals.
Nice.
They're the two Black sisters. They're twins.
Okay.
They both were
so they're sisters and they're sisters.
Yes.
Very nice.
And they retired to open up this like brunch place. And we went there and I had the shrimp and grits.
Okay.
Oh my God. Like I don't need anybody else's shrimps and grits. It is so good, Vince. You have to go.
On the list. And this must be a good place because you know how I feel about free advertising.
Yes.
So
Yes. But it is so
excellent.
on
On the list.
It was so good that Khadijah ate her food and ordered another dish to bring home, like this fish sandwich that was like that she destructed like in an hour after we got home.
Right. I'm sure she's happy about you sharing that with the world, but go ahead.
What? She loved the food. That's what
on the list.
All right. Okay. Anyway. All right. Back to business.
Yes.
We have an email, Vincent.
Okay.
We've got listener mail.
Missives from the missionaries.
Indeed. Let me get to there, right there. Listener mail. And we've got an email from, bringing it up now, George Kimona.
Hey, George. I feel like I haven't spoken to George in a minute.
No, well, you're about to.
All right. Good to hear from you, George.
Gents and missionaries. As always, I love the review of American Gangster.
Okay.
I feel like the hard out last week left a lot unsaid on the cutting room floor and would dig a trailer talk on anything that was missed, like the RZA and the wacky squad that Russell Crowe puts together. To this day, my cousin and I will randomly yell at each other, "It's Boogaloo, baby!" As it happens, Jackie Brown was on a streaming service last chance menu. I haven't seen it in a long time, and in your review made me take my last chance with Jackie. In a way, I feel like Samuel Jackson was more menacing and dangerous than Mr. Glass. Len, your next top 5 Sam's most dangerous characters. Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one, George.
That is a good one.
That's a good one. Look for that in December. And Max Cherry was a fool. Not for staying, but for not at least getting some. Come on, man. You have to take that shot. No. All right. We'll talk about that in a second.
Okay.
And in the blink and you miss them category, Sid Haig, the pilot, and Foxy Brown gets to be the judge, while the public defender is played by Denise Crosby in an uncredited role.
Okay.
And that's my Spock adjacent moment. Yes.
There you go.
Remember that.
And I missed Denise Crosby, but you know I was all over Sid Haig.
Yes, you did.
You know I love me
we
some
mentioned
Sid
that.
Haig.
We mentioned that. Please continue that work that we all appreciate. George Carmona III.
All right. Well, thank you, George.
Thank you, George. Yeah, like you even mentioned during the review, like we could have had like a whole nother movie with just Russell Crowe and RZA and his whole band of merry men.
Yeah. And I loved how competent they were.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't talk about the fact that I mentioned that Ridley Scott has directed some of my favorite films. And in those films, whether we're talking about an Alien or a Blade Runner or a Gladiator,
mm-hmm.
he does action really well.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously there's not a lot of action in this film, but that set piece at the end where they have the raid,
and
RZA pretends to be a junkie and you see them operating as a unit. Absolutely, that's a movie right there.
Yeah, it was really, really, really nice and tight, and I feel like this is one of those things that if this wasn't a true story,
right,
and thus you could pluck them out of there and put them in another movie,
right,
you would have done this akin to just like how Tommy Lee Jones' character in The Fugitive spins off into another movie.
Yeah.
But the true story aspect of it kind of like ties your hand a little bit. Yeah. In regards to Samuel Jackson and Jackie Brown, and whether or not he should have taken his shot to get some. In the scene,
Max Cherry,
Max Cherry.
Yeah.
Max Cherry. Oh, he's talking about Max should have tried to get some. Oh, that's right. I'm forgetting the name. Yeah, I see that, but Max was in a tough spot because he knew, or it's not hard to imagine, that almost every man who comes into her orbit is thinking about getting with her in a sexual way.
Not only that, there's no way Jackie Brown wanted to actually be with him. Like, I'm not going to say it would be a pity date, but it was very much something that had an expiration and an end. So someone like Jackie, I think you need to just leave alone if you can't really be with her.
If not, set yourself up for
right, like the heartbreak a week, 2 weeks, a month from now.
See, I don't know about that. I think that she was intrigued. Don't get me wrong. I don't think that like she saw him as like, oh, who I've always been waiting for. But I think she was intrigued to what it might be.
Yeah, I didn't. I think she was just fond of him.
Well, no, I think she was intrigued, but not so intrigued that when he said no, she was like, oh,
right.
She was like, okay.
Like, I think she liked him enough that she asked him to go on a trip.
But I understood him not going there because
Me too.
Once you develop that trust with someone, you don't sometimes you don't want to cross that line.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. You don't want to mess it up,
right?
It kept as it is. She might always return to your life. You cross that line, you might shatter it forever.
Aren't you quite the romantic?
Yeah, well, anyway. So that's my read.
Yes.
On that. But thank you, George, for the email.
Yeah, George.
Really appreciate it. All right, we got some news that we have to get out to the missionaries. All right. First thing, if you don't know, now you know, the Micheaux Mission is going to be doing a live show, the Micheaux Mission Live, in January.
Yes, sir.
At City Winery here in Philadelphia on January 21st. Tickets are on sale now at citywinery.com/Philadelphia. The Micheaux Mission, Vincent and I are going to be live on stage with the top 5 list. We're going to be doing 6 Degrees of D'Urville Martin, and we're going to do a talk back and a full movie screening of The Outside Story from 2020, a delightful dramedy starring Brian Tyree Henry and Sonequa Martin Green, that is sure to delight everyone out there. We are looking forward to seeing all of you in January at City Winery. Citywinery.com/Philadelphia. Tickets are on sale now. All right. Also, we have an announcement. The Kindred podcast has a name and host too. Yes,
indeed.
Yes, as you know, Vincent and I are going to be doing a limited series podcast right here on the Micheaux Mission feed, where we are going to be reviewing Kindred, the adaptation of Octavia Butler's science fiction novel that is scheduled to hit FX and Hulu on December 13th. Well, Vincent and I are going to be debuting that week Ripples in Time. A Kindred podcast by the Micheaux Mission, hosted by Len, Vincent, Ariel Johnson of Amalgam Comics and Coffee House fame, and Octavia Butler scholar herself, Charlene Griffith. And that is set to premiere. Oh, let me just change that. It's going to premiere on Thursday, December 15th. Thursday, December 15th is where we are going to debut. We're going to debut as a live stream right here on the Micheaux Mission feed, where you can check us out. And then the show will be available as a podcast that following morning on the Micheaux Mission feed. So if you subscribe on YouTube, you are in our Facebook group, then Thursday, December 15th, you'll see the debut of Ripples in Time, a Kindred podcast where we will be reviewing every episode, all 8 episodes for 8 weeks of the Kindred TV series debuting on Hulu in December. We cannot wait. It is going to be big, big fun. It's going to be a great time, and we hope that you will join us. And if you don't think that this is 100% going to happen, we've got podcast art for it already. There's the podcast art. So if you got podcast art,
that's like a contract.
You got to do the podcast. Yeah. The law says you have to do the podcast. So there you go. Ripples in Time. So look for that on your podcast feed, ladies and gentlemen. That promises to be a good time. All right. Okay. Let's see. Where else are we going? We've got that announcement. No news.
Rest in peace, Irene Cara.
Rest in peace, Irene Cara.
Absolutely.
Passed away at the age of 63.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Has made an appearance on this show.
Yes.
4 times.
Has it already been 4 times? Because she was in Sparkle.
She was in
the original Sparkle.
She was in Fame.
Mm-hmm.
She was in Aaron Loves Angela.
Right.
And then, although it was really an extended cameo, she was a plot point in DC Cab.
Oh, how about that? That's
yeah.
Right. I forgot about that.
Where she played herself, but she played herself even then as a bit of a cultural icon.
Mm-hmm.
So,
which I think it may be fair to say that she was of that kind of like that middling period between the 70s into the 80s.
Yeah.
She definitely was a name on everybody's radar.
Absolutely.
She I don't think that she became, a superstar.
No.
But she was a name everyone knew.
Yeah, and there were reasons for that. She is one of the casualties of the music industry.
Yeah.
Yeah, she had a pretty public falling out with her record label, and her record label jammed her up and basically destroyed her career.
Yeah, because that, as much as she did acting, that was where she hoped to really make her mark.
Sure. After the theme song, The Fame, it looked like she was primed to be one of those early MTV people.
I know. So it really was a shame. And 63 is so young.
Yeah.
So rest in peace, Irene Cara. And we'll be talking about you.
Yeah.
Hey, we're covering all the Black movies, so
we'll
be covering all of the films of Irene Cara.
And I think we maybe finished her film work, but she was in a I think that was a made-for-television film, Sisters, where it's like her and Diane Carroll. Are you looking it up?
Yeah, I'm looking up her filmography.
Yeah, it's like her, Diane Carroll. I forget who the third sister was.
No, I'm looking it up now. Irene Cara. You said it was called Sister?
I think it was called Sisters.
Actually, a sister. And that
sister. Okay.
That is a feature film. No, it is a television movie.
Yeah.
Television movie starring Diane Carroll, Irene Cara, and Rosalind Cash.
Yeah. That's on my list of whenever we have to do something that's not a film, like our list of those television films that somehow have a space. It's sophisticated gents.
Yeah, we're not quite filmography, but we're close to it.
Yeah,
she
was in some weird thriller, wasn't she? Wasn't she in a weird thriller in like 1983?
Yeah.
What was the name of it?
Killing Them Softly.
Yeah, I remember she was in the weird thriller
with George Segal, Clark Johnson, and Nicholas Campbell. Yeah.
I don't know if that's a Black movie.
Well, she's the lead.
Is she the lead in that?
She's the. I'm going to pull that up right now. Killing Them Softly.
Put it on the docket.
Killing Them Softly. She is number 1 on the call sheet.
Wow.
She's number 1 on the call.
What a feeling. She's going to live forever.
Yeah, the plot centers on the girlfriend of a murdered man who falls in love with her boyfriend's killer.
Awkward.
Just a bit. just a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, because she has a role in a film that we definitely will not be covering. City Heat. You remember City Heat from 1984?
Who's in it?
City Heat was the much heralded teaming of one Clint Eastwood and Burt Reynolds.
Oh my goodness, I forgot all about that.
So did they.
I'm surprised they could even get that film finished with all that ego on the same stage.
Actually, what happened in that film, it was directed by, it was written by Blake Edwards.
Okay.
Written by Richard Benjamin. But what happened on it is that Burt Reynolds got injured during the filming of it.
Okay.
So that hampered a lot of what they had planned to do in the film. Not by much, and it's not that great of a movie.
Right.
It's a curioso of the time, not of today.
And somehow Irene Cara is
Irene Cara. They needed a black woman.
Yeah.
So she found her way. She found her way in that film. So
did she find a way to sparkle? Boom! 3 for 3.
Okay. All right, Vincent. All right. You having fun? Good. All right. Let's get to our top 5.
All right.
All right. It's time for the top 5.
Who's your top 5? My top 5 is. My top 5 is. My top 5 is. My top 5 is. My top 5.
Top 5, ladies and gentlemen, where I come up with a top 5 list, and Vince has something funny to say about each and every person on the list. And tonight's top 5, coming or inspired by next Friday, our film for tonight, is the top 5 blacked out sequels. These are black characters or actors absent from movie sequels.
Oh, this is a good one.
Yeah. Now, I'm not going to go, just so all of you know, I'm not going to go to the most, probably the biggest name, because this is an act. These are actors who either were absent from the movie sequel or maybe were replaced in the movie sequel.
Okay, and the biggest name would be
Terrence Howard.
I was wondering if this was going to be a Terrence Howard sighting.
Right. No. So, but I'm not going to go there because it's just such a big story.
Right.
Terrence Howard, for those who don't know the age-old story, played James Rhodey, or James Rhodey Rhodes. That's his full name.
That's right.
In the first Iron Man movie, a role that subsequently in every other iteration of Iron Man movies and the Marvel Cinematic Universe, he was replaced by Don Cheadle. Now, the reason why he was replaced is because Terrence Howard originally signed a 3-picture deal for Iron Man, but the first movie was such a big hit that when it came time to sit down and negotiate exactly what the salary would be for the second film, he asked for a little bit more dough, only to find out that a lot of that money that had been set aside kind of for him got kicked over to Robert Downey Jr.
Right. And just a little context, because I think a lot of people only know Robert Downey Jr.'s career post Iron Man.
Well, yeah, because it's been going on for so long.
Like Terrence Howard was in Iron Man with Robert Downey Jr. basically as someone that they knew would be stable.
Yes,
like this is an actor.
He was a stable name. He was a stable name
because Robert Downey Jr. was a wild card. Like this really was his comeback role, because he had drug problems, he had legal problems. Like he was a wild dude. Like he was basically Nick Nolte.
It's fair to say that at that time, even though Terrence Howard was he wasn't a Denzel Washington level leading man, but it's fair to say at that time their careers may have been like on the same plane.
Well, again, if you're rolling the dice on one actor, you want another actor that I wouldn't quite call him the co-star of Iron Man, but Terrence Howard is in a lot of Iron Man.
He's a lot of there, and there's a lot of winking to the camera about him being ultimately War Machine
Right.
in that movie.
So you really did get the sense that we need this like we're not gonna get old dirty bastard to play Rhodey because we got this whole situation right here with Robert Downey Jr.
Right.
And then when it turned into a phenomenon, as you said, he kind of got jerked.
He did get jerked, and the only reason, like, Black Hollywood didn't like throw up their hands at it is because Don Cheadle is beloved by Black Hollywood,
right?
And Don Cheadle is good.
It's good, and Terrence Howard is a little bit of a weirdo.
Okay, yeah, fair enough.
Just call it what it is. Like this is not. I don't know. Denzel Washington,
right? Yeah,
so he's not on the list.
He's not on the list
because, of course, he's immediately who came to my mind.
Yeah, right. He'd be number 1 through 5.
Sure, right.
Like you could just put all the Marvel movies,
right?
Be just him. So no, he's not on the list. But I do have 5, and I think 5 interesting ones. For you, Vincent.
Well, let's see.
Let's go. Let's start with number 5.
Number 5,
which is Gloria Foster.
Okay.
From The Matrix and The Matrix Reloaded.
Yeah.
Because this is a sad one. This is a sad one. Gloria Foster, a phenomenal character actress of the her real heyday was like the late 60s, 70s.
Yeah. She's shown up here a couple of times.
Yeah, most definitely, and will show up again.
Yeah.
And really nailed the role of the
Oracle.
The Oracle.
Yeah.
In the Matrix, the first Matrix films. And everybody loved her, but unfortunately she passed away before they had finished the Matrix Revolutions, the third film. So her role was taken up by Mary Alice.
Is she in Reloaded?
She is listed as Reloaded because I think they filmed her stuff.
Wow, I forgot she was in Reload. Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, they filmed her stuff prior because she passed away, I believe, in 2001.
Right. Yeah, I didn't think she was in Reloaded. I thought she was only in the Matrix.
Yeah. She's credited in Reloaded. And she actually, to be fair, she's credited in the Matrix 4, but that's just the archival footage.
Right.
Of it.
I just remember that wonderful scene where they address it directly. And Mary Alice talks about, things don't happen the way we plan them.
Yeah.
Like it was a very sweet scene.
It was a very sweet scene. You get the sense, especially because they were contemporaries, that Mary Alice may have even known Gloria Foster.
Sure. Of course.
So it's a very touching scene. So this is a sad one, but it did happen.
Yeah.
So that's number 5, Gloria Foster. Staying in the world of the Matrix, though.
Okay.
Number 4, we have Lawrence Fishburne.
Yeah.
Because he plays Morpheus.
Yeah, yes, he does.
In the entire first set of the Matrix film franchise. So those 3 films. But if I remember correctly, he dies in the third one, right?
He does not die in the third one. No.
He doesn't?
No.
Okay. But he must die somewhere along the line.
He dies somewhere. Are we doing spoilers?
No, we're doing spoilers.
Matrix,
4?
Yeah.
Whatever it was called.
It's set way in the future.
Right. It's set way in the future. And they say basically by then Morpheus has died.
Right.
But there's this computer program
that has taken on
the essence of Morpheus. And basically that computer program is depicted by Yahya Abdul-Mateen.
Yes.
Who more or less it's Morpheus in this movie. So I didn't really dig that. I didn't really mind it. I had other problems with Matrix 4, so I didn't really focus on that so much.
Right.
But I could have had, Lawrence Fishburne. Like, yes, he's an older guy, but he's still good. He's a contemporary of Keanu Reeves, so he definitely could have still been there and doing his thing.
I am convinced that the last scene from the last John Wick film, they're going to tell us that that's all taking place in the Matrix, because he's kind of playing Morpheus in the John Wick movies.
Not really.
He is an outsider leader who serves as a mentor and provides information and supplies to the one, basically, which is what John Wick is at this point.
Yeah, well, maybe. I don't know. I still don't see him as Morpheus. But I get your reference.
Yeah,
I get your reference, but I don't see him.
Like, I completely didn't understand why he wasn't in it.
Me neither.
I'm not going to get nerd rage about Matrix. I also was completely underwhelmed by the action.
Oh, well, there's a lot to be
when,
underwhelmed about in that movie.
When, like, John Wick was sitting right there. Like, John Wick was sitting right there.
Mm-hmm.
Like, let him do some John Wick stuff.
Well, I mean, they try to differentiate.
All right, go ahead. Number
Anyway,
three.
Number 3. Will Smith.
Will Smith.
From Suicide Squad.
From Suicide
where he
Squad.
was cast as Deadshot in
Yes,
2016's Suicide Squad, which, if you haven't seen it, don't do it. It's a mess.
It is.
And then when James Gunn comes aboard to kind of like reboot that film fledgling franchise with the Suicide Squad.
All you need was the article, apparently. Well, in James Gunn.
Yes.
And a good script.
Yeah. And better actors.
And better actors. Okay, you needed a lot of stuff.
You needed a lot of stuff.
But also you needed the.
You needed the.
Yeah,
you needed the. And you also needed Idris Elba.
And you also
who more or less plays Deadshot.
He plays not Deadshot.
Yeah, exactly. he plays faux Deadshot in the Suicide Squad. Which a movie that starts off with all but killing off the characters from the Suicide Squad, except Will Smith, who doesn't show up because they don't want to kill off Deadshot.
Right.
So that happened.
That's got to sting. Like, unlike Lawrence Fishburne in The Matrix, that's got to sting a little bit for Will Smith.
They could, yeah.
Like, I can't believe I was in a garbage one.
Because they jumped through hoops to make sure that Margot Robbie would be there as.
Come on, man. Harlequin. You know it was his choice not to be in it.
I know.
Hey, man, you want to be in this one? He said, no, I'm good.
I know. Well,
that's got to sting.
He makes questionable choices.
That's got to sting a little
We know
bit.
He's a man who makes questionable choices.
It's like, yeah, so The Matrix and Suicide Squad, it's got to sting.
That's true, because he was supposed to be in The Matrix.
Exactly.
He was supposed to be. Well, there's something else besides The Matrix that he passed on, that famously passed on.
He passed on Django Unchained.
That's what it was.
He passed on Django Unchained.
Django Unchained. Yeah. So yeah, Will Smith.
Yeah.
Number two. Bernie Casey. In Charlie's Angels Full Throttle. Now this is a switch up because Bernie Casey signs on to Charlie's Angels.
Not Bernie Casey. That's why you were confusing me. Bernie Mac.
You know, I wrote Bernie Casey.
It's like Bernie Casey was in Charlie's
Angels. I wrote Bernie Casey. Well, look, unfortunately, I can't change the graphic.
Okay,
because it's
Lord,
it's actually Bernie Mac.
That would have been real good if Bernie Casey was in there.
My bad. Bernie Mac in Charlie's Angels Full Throttle is a switch up because he is replacing Bill Murray, who played Bosley in the Charlie's Angels films, but then there was some stuff behind the scenes where Bill Murray was acting out of pocket, saying some stuff about Lucy Liu, and Lucy Liu was above him on the call sheet, so one of them had to go, and it wasn't Lucy Liu. So Bill Murray went. In comes Bernie Mac, playing the long lost, I believe, brother of Bosley. I think he's like Jerome Bosley. And thus the Charlie's Angels franchise continues.
Right. But then he's not in the third one. Or you saying he replaced
Bill Murray?
but he's not. Is there a third? There's a third Charlie's Angels, wasn't there?
I
With this
believe.
cast?
I believe like that film may be the third one. Charlie's Angels Full Throttle.
Because I thought there was a film that Bernie Mac wasn't in because he got sick.
That may be true.
Yeah.
Yeah, that may be true.
Which is where I thought you were going with this.
No,
Okay.
no, I wasn't.
All right.
I wasn't going there. I was going with the happy story.
Happy story. Okay.
But you went the
But
other way.
I've now made it bad.
You took it down.
All right.
You took it down a dark alley. Yeah, there was only two,
Okay.
and he was in the Full Throttle.
Okay.
That was the second one, and then they kind of like rebooted it.
Yeah.
Which, whatever. Anyway, so that's number two.
Okay. Number two.
Number one,
The number one blacked out sequel person
inspired by Next Friday,
inspired by Next Friday.
which should give you a clue
Okay.
as to who number one is.
This is probably going to spill over into the show, maybe.
Regina King
Well, look.
from Friday,
Yes.
1995,
Yeah.
who is conspicuously moved out of the house
Yeah.
in 2000's Next Friday.
I mean, you're talking about Regina King, Anna Marie Horsford, of course, Chris Tucker,
Right. Well,
Nia Long.
true.
Like, there's a significant amount of the cast from Friday.
Now,
I forget the dude that DJ Pooh plays.
yeah. Well, first of all,
Pinky,
well,
not Pinky. Big Worm.
first of all, start with the director, but we'll get into that.
Yeah,
in
we'll
the
get into
review.
all that. But,
in the review.
yeah, sure.
But Regina King
Regina King, sure.
does not return for Next Friday, and I think it's not hard to tell why, ladies and gentlemen, because in between 1995, where she does Friday, and 2000, when Next Friday comes out, Regina King not only has roles in A Thin Line Between Love and Hate, Down to Earth, excuse me, not Down to Earth, Mighty Joe Young.
Mm-hmm.
She actually has a standout performance alongside Will Smith in Enemy of the State.
Mm-hmm.
But she really captures eyes as Marcy Tidwell, Cuba Gooding Jr.'s wife
Yeah.
in Jerry Maguire.
Yeah.
And that's when things start really rolling for her. So by the time you get to 2000, she's probably, I didn't find any evidence to this, but she probably is good with being.
You know what? And again, at the risk of spilling into the review, I disagree with you.
Really?
I think if this script was better and or they asked her to be in it, I think she would have been in it.
Well, I don't think they would have asked her because I don't think they could have afforded her. At that point, I don't think they could have afforded her.
What year is Soul Food Christmas come out that she's in?
Soul Food Christmas?
What was that? This Christmas? What year is this Christmas come out?
That's 2007.
Yeah, if she's in This Christmas in 2007, she would have been in Next Friday in 2000.
No, she wouldn't have.
She absolutely. Why?
No, she wouldn't have.
You're saying
That's it.
they couldn't afford her? You're saying she's in Soul Food Christmas in 2007.
Okay, you and your Soul Food Christmas.
I think she takes roles she's interested in.
I think she takes roles that she's interested in too, but I don't think that she would have been, one, to your point, I don't think she would have been interested in this script.
Right.
But two, I don't think that in 2000 they could have afforded her, because that is one of the things that you look at this film. This film, the money is on Ice Cube.
Are you trying to tell me Soul Food Christmas could afford her more than this?
Would you call in 2007? Yes. This Christmas, I'm guaranteed.
I'm not letting go of this. What was the budget of this Christmas?
I'm about to tell you. This Christmas, 2007, the budget was $13 million.
What was the budget of Next Friday?
The budget for Next Friday was $11 million.
There's no way on earth you're going to tell me they couldn't have afforded her in 2000, and this Christmas could in 2007, and the only difference is $2 million.
I bet they couldn't afford her.
Yeah.
I don't think she would have wanted to do it, but I bet they couldn't
I
afford
think
it.
you're giving this movie too much credit, frankly.
I'm not. Trust me, I'm not
Right.
giving this movie any credit.
Right.
I just don't think that they could
Yeah, I think
afford
if
her.
the script was, I think if the script was better, and by better, it actually included Anna Marie Horsford and Regina King's character, I think she'd have signed back up because of her feelings about that character and about Friday.
Okay.
Yeah, I think they dropped the ball. I don't think Regina King said, "This is what you got to pay me."
No, okay.
Yeah.
I just,
Yeah.
I don't think it's necessarily money that is the main reason. I just also think that they couldn't have afforded her. I don't.
I'm gonna just
All right.
that dumbass Christmas movie. If she took that check, she'd have took this check in 2000.
That was, I mean, it's a whole different vibe on the Christmas movie.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
On a Christmas movie, here's the thing about a Christmas movie, right? A Christmas movie, you get a low budget. It's a stacked cast.
It looked like it was a fun film to
looked
make.
like a fun film for everyone to make. Everybody, not everybody, but probably more than a few people, Regina King included, probably cutting their rate a little bit.
Yes.
To be in that film because. And I want to thank the Delroy Lindo and Regina King and Idris Elba, even at that point, have smart enough agents who realize I'll take the cut here because this is a Christmas movie and this is going to play and play and play and play and play, and I'm going to make up that money on the back end. You're not going to do that with Next Friday. You don't, especially
you are an insane person.
Especially
right
if you're looking at the script of the Next Friday.
They play Next Friday. Next Friday is on like 5 different channels right now. Like right now, if you turn to TNT, they playing Next Friday. This Christmas, they play once a year. To your point, they play it every year. They play Next Friday every 2 weeks.
I disagree.
All right. You mean you disagree? You're trying to say they play this Christmas more than Next Friday?
Yes.
I think this
Christmas.
You're just being obstinate now. You don't even
I'm
believe
not.
that.
No, I'm not.
You don't even believe that.
I do believe that. I think this Christmas has more legs than Next Friday. Now, if you want to go Friday after next, maybe I'll rock with you, but not Next Friday.
So you think they play the third sequel more than they do the
I
second?
don't think they really give a damn about any of the sequels.
Third sequel,
honestly,
that's a Christmas movie.
I don't think they give a damn about any of them. They play Friday. They don't really. They don't play Next Friday hard like that.
I think they play these more than Friday.
No.
I think they throw these on all the time.
No. Maybe on your
on TNT, TBS, them rando sort of standard package cable channels.
No,
USA.
No.
That's why everybody knows who Pinky is.
No, you're wrong.
Pinky's in one scene in this movie.
You're wrong.
Pinky's in one scene, maybe 3 scenes in the second movie. Everybody know Pinky.
You're wrong.
I mean, you can say I'm wrong. We can say up is down, but in your heart, you just arguing now. But you know they played them Friday movies all the time.
No, they play Friday all the time.
But they don't.
Yeah,
Because
but
Friday
they
is
do.
a film.
You can say it as soft as you want.
Look,
they do.
Regina King could have been in Next Friday, and it wouldn't have been because of money. The script is terrible.
And that's probably why she wasn't in it.
Well, that's what I said.
But I said also they couldn't afford her.
The script was terrible. I think I guess we'll talk about all this in the review. But all right, fine.
All right.
So I don't know how you pick her out of the cast that didn't show. Like not Chris Tucker? You're not gonna talk about Chris Tucker?
Because I know Chris Tucker is the more famous one that we're going to talk about in the review. But you don't see people really talking about Regina King and the others not being in the film. And I think of the others, I think Regina King is the one that is missed the most.
Really? More than Anna Marie Horsford?
I do, honestly.
Huh. Okay.
Based on the story. If the story being the same, I think you miss Regina King. You know?
And your beloved Neil Long. You miss Neil Long.
I don't think you miss Neil Long
miss Neil
because
Long.
you know they're setting. You know they're just going to set up another,
Right, another
love
love
interest.
interest, sure,
You know.
sure.
So no, I don't think you miss
All right.
Neil Long in this. All right. Okay. George Kimona
Hey, George.
wants to know, how are we going to forget Wesley Snipes in Major League, who played Willie Mays Hayes, and then I believe is replaced by Omar Epps in one of the movies.
I actually forgot that he was replaced.
Yeah, me too. I so you got me there
You got me there.
because I watched the first Major League. I think I watched the second one, and then I was done with the Major League movies.
That's kind of interesting though that Omar Epps replaced him, because you know the rumor was always that Wesley Snipes played the love interest in Disappearing Acts,
Mm-hmm.
because Omar Epps and Sanaa Lathan had some type of personal issue, because Omar Epps was supposed to play the lead.
Oh, I see. I think I do remember that.
And to circle back to what you said last week in your top 5 about Denzel Washington being too old to play a character in Out of Time,
Mm-hmm.
Wesley Snipes playing that character in Disappearing Acts opposite Sanaa Lathan was ridiculous,
Because he is so much older.
because he was so much older than her.
I've never saw Disappearing Act.
It's not bad.
Wasn't that a TV thing?
I think it was an HBO film.
Yeah. All right.
We're
Okay.
talking about Omar Epps and Wesley Snipes going back and forth.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Well, that's my top 5, Vincent.
All right.
I didn't know it would be controversial, but it was. And now, ladies and gentlemen, and Robin, it's time for the Game of Kings.
The Game of Kings.
That's the key. Why you'd be surprised what a person can do with just a sensitive touch and a sensitive sound.
6 Degrees of D'Urville Martin, ladies and gentlemen, where Vincent will attempt to get to actors of my choice and connect them in 6 films or less to that other 70s heartthrob besides Irene Cara.
Who's in every sequel he was offered.
Yes, he never met a sequel he didn't make.
That's right.
D'Urville Martin.
D'Urville Martin.
Vincent, are you ready?
I am ready.
All right. Okay. And now, continuing the theme,
Continuing the theme.
I have selected 2 actors
Okay.
who were subsequently either dropped or replaced for one reason or another
Okay.
from sequels to films that they were in.
Okay.
All right.
A theme.
A theme.
Okay.
So do you want he or she?
You know what? I'll go with he.
We'll go with he. In 6 movies or less, Vincent, get from D'Urville Martin
D'Urville Martin.
to Ben Affleck.
Ben Affleck. Okay. How do I want to do Ben Affleck? And of course, Ben Affleck was in what film? And then
He
dropped?
was in The Sum of All Fears, where he played Jack Ryan.
He sure did play Jack Ryan.
And then he pretty much killed the franchise. And it was not long after rebooted with Chris Pine in the role.
Okay. How do I want to get to old Ben Affleck? D'Urville Martin.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I messed this up before, but I'm going to go to the film that I know both of them were in. D'Urville Martin is, of course, in 5 on the Black Hand Side with Dick Anthony Williams, who's in Mo Better Blues with Denzel Washington,
Mm-hmm.
who's in He Got Game with Rosario Dawson, who is in this last Clerks film, that Clerks film that just came out a few months ago with Ben Affleck.
Which would be Clerks 3.
Yes. Ben Affleck's in that.
He makes a cameo.
I was about to say, I
film.
thought he was in it. So there you go.
I did not see that film.
Me either. I actually don't like the Clerks films.
Not even the first one.
I don't.
Yeah, I liked it at the time, but
Yeah, I
it
don't.
does it wore thin.
Right. I know my nerd cred. I'm supposed to always be yay Kevin Smith, but I've never really understood the Kevin Smith thing.
Maybe. Well, no, because really it's just about him being a nerd.
Yeah,
Because when I think about it, has there been a Kevin Smith film that I liked?
There's and I've actually seen a fair amount of Kevin Smith films.
Well, he hasn't been done that many.
I mean, he's done what? The 3 Clerks films, Dogma,
Chasing Amy.
Chasing Amy. I mean,
Chasing Amy wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. Anyway,
how many times have you seen it?
once.
Exactly.
Anyway.
Uh-huh.
All right,
There you go.
Very good. So you got the Ben Affleck.
All right.
Now in 6 movies or less.
6 movies or less. Who is the lady?
The lady
Who was replaced in a sequel?
The lady is the Mummy, Rachel Weisz,
Oh my God, Rachel Weisz. Good.
who did not return for the final Mummy movie because by then she had won an Oscar and she was like, I'm good.
Mm.
And she was replaced by Maria Bello.
Oh my goodness. I know that if Rachel Weisz walked in here right now, I'd say, why are you in here, random person?
She's not
Oh my God, I don't even know what she was in. What did she win an Oscar for? I didn't know she won an Oscar till you said it just now.
Really? Oh,
I'm sorry. I'm not up on my Rachel Weisz.
oh yes, I forgot. This is your black hole. Rachel Weisz won an Oscar for. Let me pull up her awards.
Yeah, because I have no idea what she's been in.
She won for the Constant Gardener in 2006.
Really?
Really?
Did you see The Constant Gardener?
No.
I swear, God, sometimes I swear it's like the Oscar Micheaux ghost films that they know that they existed because people have posters and people wrote a review of them. Like I know The Constant Gardener existed, but I don't know anyone who actually saw it. Okay, yeah, because I don't even know who's in that.
Me neither.
Oh, how's she won an Oscar for a movie?
I mean, that happens.
Oh, okay, all right. What's the last thing she's
not going to knock her for that.
I'm not knocking her. Apparently, she's done very well for herself.
She was in a few movies. And I'm looking at her filmography that I think you've seen.
Then did I say, oh wow, she's doing really good work?
Oh my God, she was in. I think you saw the last movie that she was in.
What is it?
Do you want me to tell you?
I'm genuinely curious about what she has been in.
It's going to get
that I knew she was in it, but or she was in it, and I have no memory of her whatsoever.
Well, this is immediately going to connect the dots for you. She was in Black Widow.
As who?
Well, I'm not going to tell you. You want me to tell you?
I am genuinely curious.
She plays their mother, Black Widow, and her sister's mother.
I liked her in Black Widow. I didn't know that was her. I didn't know that was Rachel Weisz.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I mean, look, at this point, yeah. Right, so I could get through the Marvel Samuel Jackson stuff. But now I'm genuinely curious.
Like
what else has she been in that I would...
What else she do?
No, I'm genuinely curious where I would have said, oh, wow.
You say that's her. I still don't believe it's her.
She's doing good work. Like, what else would she have been in that I would have noticed her? Like you said, she got an Oscar for a film that I'm 70% existed.
She was in Going Backwards. She was in well, you probably didn't see Oz the Great and Powerful. But you probably saw The Bourne Legacy.
Who is she in The Bourne Legacy?
Dr. Marta Shearing. She was in The Lovely Bones.
I did not see The Lovely Bones, but I heard good things about that.
She was in, of all things, Fred Claus. She was in The Fountain. That's the isn't that Darren Aronofsky? Yeah.
Yeah.
She was in Keanu Reeves' Constantine or Constantine.
Who did she play in that?
She played Angela and Isabel Dotson. She was in Runaway Jury with John Cusack.
Boy, you
and Gene Hackman.
She's a good one. I swear if she walked in this room, I wouldn't know who she was.
She was in The Shape of Things with Paul Rudd. She was in About a Boy. She was in the Mummy movies, as I mentioned.
Yes, you mentioned the Mummy movies.
She was an Enemy at the Gates with I think there's Ray Fiennes in that. She was in, and I'm just going.
You ever watch something?
Those are the ones I
and
think
you
you've
fast
seen.
forward and you see like commercials for shows that you've never seen one episode of,
Mm-hmm.
and they've been on for like 8 years.
It's like season 12. It's like
this is me and her career. Like we're just two ships in the night that have never passed one another. So that's a good one.
Well, okay, but you've seen a couple of those films.
Not as many as you would think.
Well, okay.
Yeah. But for the sake of the
to be a completist.
You know.
No, I don't know.
Leonard Jackson is in Five on the Black Hand Side with Derville Martin. Then Leonard Jackson goes on to be in Boomerang with Leonard Jackson is in Boomerang with Eddie Murphy. Eddie Murphy is in Harlem. No, Eddie Murphy is in Coming to America with Samuel Jackson, who's in the Avengers with Scarlett Johansson, who's in Black Widow, apparently with Rachel Weisz, who plays their mother. And it's good. I was like, she's pretty good.
Yeah.
But then I got distracted by like Scarlett Johansson and what's little Black Widow's name? Flo.
I know who you're talking about.
And Dad from Stranger Things.
Yeah. Well, very good, Vincent.
I guess. That was a good pick.
You made it to Rachel Weisz.
That was good. God bless you, Rachel Weisz, and keep on doing your thing. I'll keep on doing my thing, and the two of us will never cross paths. And that's okay.
It is.
And that's okay. Everything doesn't have to be your thing.
That's very true, Vincent.
All right.
Very true. All right. Let's get into our review.
She's not next Friday, is she? Now I'm just curious about stuff. Is that Rachel Weisz? Is that her?
Is she in the dog catching truck?
Right. Dude. Like I just finished Andor, which was amazing.
Yeah, I hear everybody say
is
that.
She in Andor?
I hear everybody say that.
Yeah.
I won't be finishing Andor.
Oh, that's why.
Because I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. I don't.
All right. Well, everything don't have to be your
care.
thing.
And I'm just
Andor was that work.
So I've heard.
Yeah.
So I've heard.
But all right, fine, fair enough.
I won't be returning to that. There's two other TV shows I won't be returning to.
Okay.
I've realized this, that I don't think I care enough.
Okay.
Let the Right One In.
I've not even started yet. Hey, easy.
No, I started it and it was good enough, but it just didn't like.
Hey, you support all things within Yukononi Rose. So much so that I haven't started yet. I'm watching one sitting. Go ahead.
So that didn't get me. And Your show,
What?
Mr. Chiwetel Ejiofor show.
Oh, you're crazy.
No. It's
The
good.
Man Who Fell to Earth.
The Man Who Fell to Earth. It's good. I'm not knocking that it's good. And Let the Right One In is good too.
Mhm.
So I'm not knocking them as creative ventures.
You're just not interested.
It's just didn't didn't grab me. Neither of them. And I sat with like the Man Who Fell from Earth. I think I watched like three episodes or so, 3 or 4 episodes, and it just didn't grab me. I realized that like I'm not returning to it when I've got time to sit and watch it. I don't return to it.
Maybe circle back.
Maybe
Because again, it's like what, 10 episodes.
Yeah, maybe.
So, but okay.
All right.
Rachel Weisz is in neither of those shows.
She's in neither of those shows, Vincent.
Yeah, I'm just making. All right, now I'm just gonna keep a list.
Just gonna keep a list.
Yes.
We're going to do a Rachel Weisz check-in.
You never know.
Every week.
No one ever expects Rachel Weisz.
No one ever expects Rachel Weisz.
Right. So, all right.
All right. Now let's get into our review of next Friday. But first, trailer talk, which we can't have a whole lot of trailer talk, as you've heard, ladies and gentlemen. Vincent has a bad cough. We've got to get him while his voice is good.
Keep it good. Keep it going.
Got to keep it strong. But I will say, I will shout out your sweatshirt there with a fetching Diana Ross.
Well, thank you.
On it. It's quite lovely. Like, sit up a little bit so people can see it. And a little bit more. Stand up. There you go. Yeah. Nice.
Since I don't have a monitor, I don't know what's happening.
Well, we've changed the camera setup, so you don't have a monitor right now.
I'm just going to trust you.
It wasn't important for you to have a monitor.
Apparently not.
It's more important for us to have a camera that's not going to be pitching out.
That's true.
And the camera has not pitched out once.
And it has not.
And it's been a nice, clear picture.
So I hear. I'll have to trust you.
Trust me, you look marvelous. All right.
You ready?
I just want to make sure that anybody over here. Oh, Aaron Fry. Now he has recommended a show that I am eager to watch, probably this weekend. Wednesday, the Addams Family, kind of like, I guess, reboot.
Yeah, I've heard good things
on Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard good things. It can't be worse than the Munsters reboot that is on Netflix.
Oh, why would you have watched that?
Because I wanted to.
There's no way that was going to be good.
I mean, look,
there isn't. As soon as you saw that Rob Zombie was doing it on his own.
Well, Rob Zombie is. I like his.
What you like? What do you like?
He did. What did he do? He did a Halloween movie? I thought was
what was the name of it?
Halloween. It was Halloween something, but I thought it wasn't bad.
You're just making it up on the fly. You know you don't.
No, I did. I remember going to the movies. It's like,
but you don't remember which one it was.
It was. I mean, they've all been called Halloween something. So it was Halloween Zombie. I don't know. Yeah. I thought it wasn't bad, but no. But the Munsters is god awful.
Yes,
it is god awful. So, but Wednesday does look good. So I'm
okay.
Interested in sitting down with that. All right, let's go.
Next Friday, a 2000 American stoner comedy film and the sequel to the 1995 film Friday, the first to be produced by Ice Cube's film production company, directed by Steve Carr, and written by Ice Cube. After finding out Debo escaped prison to get revenge on Craig, his father decides it would be safer for Craig to move to live with his uncle Elroy and cousin Day Day, who had just won the lottery. Starring a returning Ice Cube and John Witherspoon, and added to the cast Mike Epps, with appearances by Tamala Jones and an extended cameo almost by Tiny Lister Jr. Next Friday was the choice of Lynn Webb. Lynn, what do you have to say about next Friday?
This is a bad movie. This is a very, very bad movie in every single sense of the words, ladies and gentlemen. Friday, the film to which this is a sequel, is a certified cult classic. You heard me and Vince arguing earlier on the show about how this movie from 1995 is still beloved and is still played on cable networks to this day. It is still quoted,
Mm-hmm.
and it is still very much one of the more popular and notable things in the filmography or careers of Ice Cube, who was the writer along with DJ Pooh of the original film, and Chris Tucker, his noted co-star in that movie. Because it goes without saying, Friday was a film that made Chris Tucker a star.
Yes.
He was the comet that shot from that film. Ice Cube, because of already rap music and already some movies, was already a bit of a star. But Chris Tucker was the shining star that shot from there, as well as the director,
Mm-hmm.
F. Gary Gray,
There it is.
who put together that slice of life that happened in Friday that everybody loves. Assembled a cast of good actors portraying crazy characters, but all of the characters, as crazy as they were, still felt that they had their feet solidly on the ground, and they felt, lived in
Mhm.
and real.
That's
to
right.
a sort, including John Witherspoon, who plays Craig's father,
Mm-hmm.
his dad, right? Willie Jones.
Mm-hmm.
Because as wild and as funny as he is in Friday, you never get the sense that he's a bad father. You always get the sense that he has nothing but love for his son and is trying to instill good values in his son.
Mm-hmm.
And those good values are on display for the most part by Craig in Friday. Craig is, despite having just lost his job, he ain't got no job, he ain't got no place to go, so he's just gonna sit here on his porch on Friday and have fun with his boy Smokey. Craig is a guy who, he smokes some weed, but he's not like a weed head.
Not at all.
By any stretch of the
Not at
imagination. Is always trying about doing the right thing. It's not about getting into any type of nonsense. Always kind of like the sounding board for all of the craziness that's going on. He's a straight guy.
Yeah.
In the film. Fast forward 5 years to next Friday. In the stretch of that time, we talked about the star that Regina King had become. Chris Rock is even more of a star at this point.
Tucker.
Chris Tucker, excuse me. Chris Tucker is even more of a star at this time because of the Rush Hour films.
Mm-hmm.
But more importantly, at this moment in his life, Chris Tucker is a born-again Christian.
Right.
And it is through that lens that he chooses a lot of the work that he wants to do. And knowing the world in which the Friday universe is steeped in, he says no thank you to the next Friday movie. Right?
Yes, and put a pin in that too.
Put a pin in that. So you don't have the superstar of the first film returning for the second film.
Right.
The second film is a script that is credited to Ice Cube as the writer, and no one else.
Yes.
DJ Pooh,
Mm-hmm.
who was very much a co-writer,
Mhm.
a co-creative force in the first Friday film is nowhere to be seen.
This is an Ice Cube joint.
This is actually the first Cube Vision
Mhm.
production.
That's right.
So Ice Cube is the writer. He is also the producer. The director, F. Gary Gray, he's not here.
Right.
They have brought in Steve Carr, making his feature film debut,
Mhm.
though he is a bit of a producer and a music video director at this time.
Which, in their defense, that's where F. Gary Gray came from.
That's where he
So
came
it's
from.
not like
Certainly,
you can't find gold.
it's not like you can't find gold. You're more often than not, though, are going to find something much less than
Right,
gold.
right. Not gold.
Not gold.
Yeah.
Faux gold.
Mm-hmm.
Fool's gold.
Fool's gold.
And that's unfortunately what this film found in its director and Steve Carr.
Mm-hmm.
Ice Cube has written a story that takes his character, Craig, out of the setting of LA and deposited him in Rancho Cucamonga, where he lives with where he moves to for fear that Debo, who's just getting out of prison, is going to come and retaliate. Craig, by order of his father, is sent off to Rancho Cucamonga to live with his uncle and his cousin. His cousin, as you mentioned, played by Mike Epps. His cousin Day Day, and his uncle, played by comedian DC Curry, played as his Uncle Elroy. And they hit the lottery. They got $1 million,
Yes.
800 something thousand after taxes, 240 something thousand after paying off some debts,
Right.
and nice-ish 2000 circa house in a cul-de-sac and a BMW.
Yes.
To show for their lottery winnings.
Yes.
For the most part, that's what they've got. Where they live in this cul-de-sac where they get high all the time. Uncle Elroy has his girlfriend who's living with him, who is your girl, my girl.
Yeah.
From Black Dynamite, Kim Whitley, playing Auntie Sugar.
Yes.
The sex crazed girlfriend of Elroy. They have, some vatos that live next door,
Lord.
who are getting into all types of shenanigans, and they of course have a sister who becomes the love interest for Craig,
Of course.
but everything feels off about this film from the giddy up, starting with where we're reintroduced to Craig, and he is sitting there in the bathroom rolling up a blunt.
Yep.
And that just does not feel right. That's not the Craig we left.
Right.
Craig was not like sitting in the bathroom rolling blunts. Craig had Smokey coming over, and maybe he had a blunt or two.
Right.
He wasn't a guy that was just constantly looking to get high.
He wasn't that dude.
He wasn't that dude. But absence of Smokey, they put that trait onto Craig. Why? Because in an attempt to have Mike Epps not just play Smokey Jr.,
right,
Day Day is played as a bit of a nebbish, a bit of a, not so much of a nerd, but just of, I don't know, just a bit of a sad sack around the way dude.
Yeah.
Can't buy a break.
Right.
Got stupid girl troubles from Tamala Jones, and it's got a dead end job at a video store.
It's records.
A record store. I don't even remember the details. It's Pinky's.
Yeah.
And that character doesn't 100% work. It's memorable because Mike Epps is We've talked about it here. He's a very good actor.
Mm-hmm.
A
lot of charisma.
He has a lot of charisma. He has a lot of charisma, but unfortunately, he's not given a lot to work with.
Sure.
Some of the funniest lines that are in this film are lines that he ad-libs into the film.
Absolutely.
One famous bit where a lot of these lines are lifted from his act at the time that he was doing on stages.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of it's very hit and miss, and it's just not funny.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the lowest type of potty humor and pratfalls, and not helped by some truly abysmal direction. There are moments in this film where people are giving whole monologues off camera and the person on camera is just sitting there listening.
Yeah.
And their monologues have import to the quote unquote plots of this movie. But you wouldn't know it, because when the camera swings back to them, they're getting in the car and pulling away.
Right.
There are scenes where John Witherspoon is at a hot dog joint to get a hot dog, and he's talking to the person behind the register. You never see the person behind the register.
Maybe there it goes. Maybe it's Rachel Weisz.
And Rachel Weisz as the disembodied voice at the hot dog stand. Yeah. But not only do you not see the person, when the person hands change out, you don't even see the hand. You just see change flying out of the window. I'm like, which just tells me that they couldn't afford Regina King. Right. They couldn't even afford to pay the person's hand, because this person would have had to, I guess, get a full credit on the cast. This film is snake bit, not only because Chris Tucker doesn't return, Regina King doesn't return, so many other actors don't return. Justin Pierce, who plays Roach, Day Day's friend and co-worker at the shop, he is a person, obviously the actor, fighting with some demons. He would commit suicide not too long after this film wraps and is released that same year. So
we're not gonna blame that on the movie, though.
I'm not blaming it on the movie.
My goodness.
I'm not blaming it on the movie. But to be fair, he adds nothing to the film.
Twilight Zone, the movie, though.
He adds absolutely nothing to the film.
No.
There are characters that are introduced for no reason.
None.
Debo escapes prison alongside, you learn that he has a brother played by Sticky Fingers, and then disappears from the movie. He's locked in a dog catcher's truck for about 30 minutes.
Bizarre. All right, go ahead.
I'm really done, because while I was not expecting much from this film, but the second I saw that it was written solely by Ice Cube and that F. Gary Gray did not return to direct it, I said, oh, this does not bode well.
Yeah, this is a film that makes a series of mistakes within the first 10 minutes of the film. The first, when the credits come on, and they come on in the form of smoke.
Yes. And you've got a voiceover.
And you've got a voiceover where it's Ice Cube and it sounds like he's high. So that
making jokes at the credits,
but it lets you know that they have reconfigured Fridays, this film, to be a stoner film. Which, if you listen to our review of Friday, this is something you actually corrected me, where I said, yeah, Friday's a stoner film. And you're like, no, Friday's not a stoner film at all. Friday is a film where sometimes they smoke weed.
Right.
But it's not a stoner film. No. As you said, it is very much set in reality. So first and foremost, they've missed one of the great moves of Friday, and they've turned it into this stoner film. Second thing they do Debo is turned into a cartoon.
Yeah.
They have him, as you said, he has escaped from prison. He's with his younger brother. He has on these orange overalls, but he's a cartoon. One of the great things about Debo is that Debo was actually a menace
Mm-hmm.
in the first film. For all the Chris Tucker, you got knocked the F out and this, that, and the other, and my mama gave me that chain. Debo beats up Felicia.
Mm-hmm.
Debo hits Nia Long's character.
Mm-hmm.
Debo is a thief. Like, Debo is actually a monster with some heft.
Yeah. Yeah.
Much like, I'll just bring him in talking about cast members who didn't return. The character of Big Worm.
You miss him.
Big Worm has a shower cap on. Big Worm has a jerry curl. Big Worm tells Smokey, I'm going to murder you.
Mm-hmm.
Big Worm tries to kill both of them. So you have this wonderful balance with the heavies in Friday,
Mm-hmm.
where there's some funny, but there's also some real consequences
Yeah.
and some real stakes.
Real repercussions.
That's gone. Along those lines, leaving South Central, I think, completely removes that wonderful texture of Friday, where, again, mainly through the work of Ice Cube in NWA.
Mm-hmm.
As the audience, we've been trained to know that South Central is a place that can get very serious very quickly.
Mm-hmm.
So the contrast of this slice of life in South Central, again, you have this wonderful texture. They move out of South Central to this basically back lot almost,
Yeah.
with no flavor, with no anything.
You don't really get the sense, like they say it's Rancho Cucamonga, but you don't get any kind of sense of where they are.
At this point, we've talked about all the returning cast and how that takes away from this film. Obviously, Chris Tucker, there's no Chris Tucker. To circle back to Regina King, and why I was so adamant about grouping Regina King and Anna Marie Horsford together, not being in it. Without those two, you don't get that wonderful family structure
Well, yeah.
that you get in Friday. A. B, more importantly, it completely handicaps John Witherspoon's character. Because as you said, for all the don't nobody go in the bathroom for 35, 45 minutes, this is a loving husband.
Mm-hmm.
This doting father on Gina King. This is someone, and you know, it's sort of like we used to joke about The Last Dragon, where there's a scene where Timok is looking at some clips from Bruce Lee.
Bruce Lee, yeah.
Or in The Bodyguard, where there's a moment where they're actually playing something from some Akira, some Shogun movies,
Right?
And we said, "Oh, don't show clips from better movies. Don't do that." They show that wonderful moment from Friday where John Witherspoon tells him, "You know, fight like a man. You know, put down a gun. You win some, you lose some, but you live to see another day." Where John Witherspoon's character in Friday is surprisingly nuanced.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think his best performance.
The actor.
Yeah, the actor. Well, all of that's gone.
Right, because he, like Debo, is now a cartoon.
Now he's a cartoon. And there's no real through line. Like, there's no real plot.
No.
There's a...
Which is fine, because there wasn't much of a plot to Friday
the
either.
MacGuffin in Friday, the engine that kept Friday going was that they had to pay Big Worm this money.
Right.
And Debo is wandering through the neighborhood as a menace.
Mm-hmm.
So that kind of kept things going. None of that is here. You get the sense that Ice Cube wanted to write a movie. And he said, well, I did it with DJ Pooh, so how hard could it be by myself? And the answer is very hard. Because even with everything that we said, this movie is an hour and 40 minutes, including the credits. So it's about, an hour 30, hour 35. There's a shift in this movie where for some reason they have to break into the Vato's house.
Yeah.
that for one solid half hour is just filler.
I know.
It's just filler back and forth. So that everything you said. Now then, I like Mike Epps. I like Mike Epps. As I said, I think I don't think anyone can replace Chris Tucker, because I think Chris Tucker brought this really chaotic energy to Smokey that again speaks to the texture that I'm talking about, that this lacks from the original Friday. But I like Mike Epps, and I like Mike Epps and Ice Cube together. Like I actually I actually believe them as cousins.
See, I didn't. Well, I could believe them as cousins, but I honestly feel like Ice Cube is sleepwalking through this movie.
I think Ice Cube is sleepwalking through this movie, but I also think for someone whose position in this production and the sort of built-in ego that goes with, I can write this, I'm going to produce this, I like that Ice Cube, whether it's because he's sleepwalking or whether it's because he is being generous, gives Mike Epps' character room to do stuff. Like you said, a lot of riffing. I have the exchange about the tires in the 10s and the 20s.
Yeah.
Makes me chuckle every time I hear it because that sounds real.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mike Epps getting upset about Tamala Jones in A Lady of Rage. It actually makes me chuckle.
Yeah.
As I said, I joked about it, but I just love his commitment to the role for a film where a lot of people are just sort of, as we said, sleepwalking and going along with, just sort of going along with what's going on to get to the next scene. Clifton Powell's commitment as Pinky.
Yeah.
Pinky is such a bizarre character.
Very bizarre. Very bizarre.
He used to be a pimp. Now he owns a record store and he's got the Jerry curl. And if you're a fan of Clifton Powell, and all of us are fans of Clifton Powell, this is not a Clifton Powell role.
Not a typical Clifton Powell. Well, it may be a bit of a riff on a Clifton Powell role a little bit.
That damn Pinky kills me. And as I kind of said, I forget Pinky is only in one scene.
That's it.
He returns for Friday After Next, but he's only in one scene. But it might be my favorite scene in the whole movie.
I can see that. It's a scene that goes on a little long, though. Like a lot
But
of these
it's got
scenes,
life.
it does have. Well,
Like it's the one scene that kind of pops
because it's Clifton Powell.
Who is again totally committed. So that, yeah, the film's a failure.
No,
The film is absolutely a failure. But I think the irony is I've had this film on in the background more times than I can count. While I was doing something else.
Really?
Like when I was joking about this being kind of basic cable fodder,
it's
always on. And like, I know I've balanced a checkbook or graded papers or, put away something from the dishwasher, like emptied the dishwasher with this on in the background. So.
No, wow. I couldn't stomach this film watching it for the Micheaux mission. I certainly would not stomach watching this film with commercials.
Right.
So no, this movie is just a real failure. And a bit of the shame of it is that it is successful.
Oh yeah,
it made money. It actually is the biggest grossing film in the franchise's library.
Dude, people love these movies. Plural.
No, I just don't see it. I don't understand it.
It's dumb. It's mindless. Like I said, you just sort of keep it on. It's sort of low-hanging fruit. There's not a stereotype in here that they don't miss a chance. What I wrote in my notes, is that Ryan Coogler
Mm-hmm.
had to have this wonderful depiction of Latino and Mexican culture specifically,
Mm-hmm.
because Ice Cube's depiction of Hispanic people in this film put back black-brown relationships 100 years.
It sure did. It sure did. Yeah, especially because not only do none of those characters come off very well, but none of the actors,
No.
because they're not really that good. A couple of the actors I've actually seen do other things, but they just didn't bring it in this film, and including that all goes all the way down to the sister of the Jokers. That's what the Vatos
Right.
were called. Carla, who was played by Lisa Rodriguez, she does nothing.
Well, in contrast, and I'm surprised you didn't bring this up, while Nia Long is very much the love interest in Friday, there's a reason Nia Long is Nia Long. She has more agency. She has more presence. She has more everything in Friday, where she isn't just.
Well, I mean, this is probably a criticism more to Ice Cube, because he is the writer. There is not a woman in this role, in this movie, that it has any type of 3 dimensions to them.
Which is why I was so adamant about why I thought Regina King wouldn't have signed up, regardless of the pay. This is a film, and I said put a pin in Chris Tucker, as you mentioned. Chris Tucker, because of his religious beliefs, didn't want to play Smokey again, or Smokey the way he was in Friday. How easy is it to just have Smokey not smoke weed? Like, why not write around Chris Tucker in his beliefs?
Yeah, but I don't think it was so much about I don't think it was just the weed. Like, Smokey would have been a totally different character. And the reason why you're returning to Friday, especially if you're writing this as this stoner comedy, is for Smokey to be the lead smoker in your comedy.
Look, he doesn't have to play the detective character that he plays in Rush Hour, but you want Chris Tucker. You figure out how to get Chris Tucker in there.
Okay, but you're asking Ice Cube.
But that's my point.
To write.
But see, that's my point exactly. Kind of, again, now folding Regina King back in here. Chris Tucker was religious. Chris Tucker didn't want to play Smokey. For me, that's kind of appropriately enough a smoke screen. Chris Tucker's beliefs weren't the challenge. Ice Cube in this script was the challenge.
Oh, I believe that. Yeah, I believe that too.
You could have had Chris Tucker in here. Like, you could have written again, like he's not like Kirk Cameron and was making like weird religious movies for 15 years.
True. But I mean, it's easy to fall on the religion.
I mean, hell, this is 2000. What year is Jackie Brown?
Well, Jackie Brown was what, 97?
So he made Jackie Brown.
Yeah.
You see my point? Like, there are ways. Like, it's not just, oh, I'm holy and I don't want to smoke no weed. This is a terrible script.
Okay, well, in fairness, Jackie Brown is 3 years before this film. So maybe. So I don't remember exactly when he came.
But he made them damn Rush Hour movies.
Yeah, he made the Rush Hour movie. But I mean, like you said, he can just be in a big, dumb action comedy.
Right.
And be loud and a little bit obnoxious. It's another thing to be in a film that, you know, one that you're not digging the script, and 2, let's be fair, 2000, he's another one. They definitely can't afford his rate, or even close to his rate.
You can't. And they can't. Now that's true. They can't afford. Now they actually can't afford Chris Tucker. And I acknowledge a lot of this stuff can be, you know, hindsight is 2020. But when you listen to these actors talk about Friday over the past 3 or 4 years and the cultural impact it's had and how important it is, I just feel like there was a way to get people involved.
Have you heard of AJ Johnson, who was in Friday and he didn't return for next Friday? And it basically,
AJ Johnson.
Yeah. Anthony Johnson.
Oh, right.
Yeah, he basically like,
Yeah, I heard that was a money thing,
that was a money thing.
but like a real disrespectful type money.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So and I've heard that was an issue with some people. Some people like would accepted it,
Right.
and some people were
didn't.
just like,
Yeah.
nah. So
Yeah.
I know.
So I guess the question.
No, I would not recommend that anyone see next Friday.
Yeah.
Do not waste your time. See Friday. For my money, you can stop at Friday. There are a lot of people who tell you see Friday after next. To be fair,
I was about to say, because was this your first time seeing this?
This is my first time seeing this that I
Mhm.
remember watching it in whole. I think
Right.
I'd seen bits and pieces
Because
of
it's
it.
on TV. And you see it on TV. I know. Have you seen Friday After Next?
I think I've seen another one. I've maybe seen bits and pieces. Certainly have not seen the whole thing. Because I honestly, after the first one, I just wasn't interested anymore.
Sure.
And I know Regina King does not return for Friday After Next.
Nah.
She's
The thing about Friday After Next is it's more pinky.
It's more pinky, and isn't that the one that Cat Williams is in?
Yes.
Yes. I know my lady is looking forward to that.
Yeah.
She thought that this was the one that Cat Williams was in, and when she realized he wasn't, she left the room.
Right.
So
it's not good. I wouldn't recommend it. But as I've said, I feel like a lot of people have seen this film, whether they think they have or not, just kind of through osmosis. But as a film experience, I would not recommend it.
No. Rel says, I wanted Ice Cube to shoot Clifton Powell just because of dead presidents and menace to society.
This is not that Clifton Powell.
It's not.
That's
that
my
Clifton
point
Powell.
exactly. This is the most non-Clifton Powell character Clifton Powell has ever played.
Very true. And your brother Damon recommends that people see Friday, then go to YouTube and watch Pinky's scene from next Friday. That's it. You don't need to do anything else. That is your Friday universe. So
I do like Mike Epps, and I like them together. I actually like that. What's the name of the movie that they made that wasn't Friday?
Oh, it had something to do with money.
Yeah, they're like bounty hunters, or at least Ice Cube's a bounty hunter.
Yeah, it's got something to do with money. I never saw that movie either.
It's not bad. It's light.
We'll get to it.
Yeah.
We will get to it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is our review of next Friday. All About the Benjamins.
All About the Benjamins. Not bad. And aren't they in another movie?
Okay, Vincent.
All right. No. Because All About the Benjamins, is that the one where they're like they're like concert promoters?
I don't know. See, you always ask, and then I have to look these things up. Vincent.
Yeah, I feel like they made a couple of movies together.
All right. Well, let's see. I'm going to the filmography of one Mike Epps.
Right.
Okay. All right. Mike Epps filmography. He did All About the Benjamins in 2002. Friday After Next. And then he was in, let's see, you thinking something with Ice Cube, right?
Yeah.
I'm not seeing anything that looks like it's Ice Cube joint.
Okay.
On there. He's in a bunch of things, but
I thought he made 2 non-Friday movies with Ice Cube, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, not that I'm seeing.
Okay.
He was in the Fighting Temptations. If that means anything for you.
It doesn't.
Okay. Very good. All right. Before we tell you what we're going to be watching next week, ladies and gentlemen, I invite you to check out the Micheaux Mission, 2 Men, 1 podcast, every black film ever made. Go to micheauxmission.com. You can check out our entire library of shows. We're at 327 shows,
Woo-hoo.
327 films we've reviewed, and we've got a lot more coming. And while you're at the website, you can hit swag and check out all of the cool designs and gifts that we have available for you by way of our good friends at TeePublic, including our 6 Degrees of D'Urville Martin collection, just in time for the holidays. You can leave us a voicemail, 215-867-9666. Tell Vincent and Len what's on your mind. You can email us at micheauxmission@gmail.com. Micheaux is MICHEAUX MISSION@gmail.com. Like and follow us on all the social media. That includes Facebook and Instagram and Twitter. Subscribe to the Micheaux Mission on YouTube. Subscribe at youtube.com/the Micheaux Mission and go tell a friend so we can see them, like Robin. Hi, Robin. And please, if you want to help the show, give us a 5-star rating and review, especially if it is on Apple Podcasts, as we inch our way closer to 200 reviews on there. And if you are in outside the United States and you have left us a review, please copy it and email it to us at micheauxmission@gmail.com, because we're unable to see those reviews here. So we can count that towards our toll. And the Micheaux Mission is a proud member of The Podglomerate, thepodglomerate.com. They make podcasts work. Don't forget that Sanaa Lathan is the Catwoman you didn't know that you needed. And next week on the Micheaux Mission, it is that very, very merry month of December, which means that it is almost Christmas, ladies and gentlemen.
That's right.
Almost Christmas next week here on the Micheaux Mission. Vincent's selection.
Yes, it is.
As we get into the merry month of December for the holiday season. Until then, he's Vincent, I'm Len, and in parting, we say,
We'll see you when it's time to meet again.